Hello again. This is Jonathan Miller with Hometown Historian. I am here in my home. I'm actually in my upstairs. I have a sort of a pop culture room, my video games and comics and that type of stuff. This is a room I really enjoy. I don't spend as much time in it anymore because when I got hurt earlier in the year, I wound out taking a lot of stuff downstairs because going up the stairs was hard, and so I have like my DVD or Blu-ray player is down there now, and some of my other video game stuff. So I don't do a whole lot of stuff in my big blue comfy chair, but I did just a few minutes ago. I did the third part of the Joseph Johns video because I had filmed earlier today, which is actually it's like 2 a.m. right now on Tuesday, but it was on Monday. I did that third part where I talked about a community of African Americans that were either escaped slaves or freed slaves, and it was a community called Africa near St. Joseph Springs, which is where I'm going to be filming the part of the Blue Eyed Six video because that's where the murder had happened. But this community was right near there, maybe about half a mile, 6/10 of a mile away. Uh, and I wasn't really happy with the video that I had done because I felt it was somewhat impersonal. Uh, and being the nature of talking about more than just the community of Africa, but also some of the things that go with that part of history, with slavery, with the injustices and racism and things like that. I just felt like the better way was to show my face and talk about it and try to express from my heart how I feel about it. And it's also something that Cliff and I, Wandering Woodsman, feel very personal about these aspects of history that sort of got forgotten and just get thrown to the side. So that's what I had just done. So I'm doing another video. This is a vlog. I wanted to talk about a couple of things because I'm back to being able to video again. I just bought a camera today. Not a terribly expensive camera, but it comes with a microphone and a couple other things that will now sort of take care of some of the problems that I've been struggling with. Last couple of videos, last couple of days when I've been filming, I've had a lot of issues with the battery life. It's gone like from 100% down to 27% on the one video, which was only like 22 minutes long, which is nuts. I mean, part of it might have been the weather, part of it might have been a little colder than it had been, but regardless, it was just, I'm not happy with that right now. And astonishing to me is that the video quality of the phone is actually semi decent. It's pretty decent quality. The sound quality, and you'll probably have this whenever I do videos like this where I'm talking in the camera where it's sort of flipped around. The audio is really not that great. It's not as high as it needs to be, and that'll be something that gets solved with this new camera as well. Battery life was a big problem, as well as storage and memory, which I won't have that problem anymore because I got a SD card with it as well that will allow me to be able to go out when I do some of these films, especially when I go further. If I want to do like 4 or 5 videos, and even if they're 20 or 30 minutes each, I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to have the capacity, because then when I also, right now I'm using an application called UCut. That's how I'm editing my videos right now, splicing them together, that type of stuff. When you do that, you're creating a copy on your phone, so it takes up twice as much for the same amount of film. It takes up twice as much as it did, and you run out of space quick with this. And it'll also solve the finger in the camera view because it actually has a handle that you hold on to it. So a lot of different things. As long as the film quality is the same, and hopefully it's even a little bit better, it'll be a good investment. So I was happy with it. I got a tripod as well, so I don't have to film like this anymore. I can actually have a tripod that's a little further away. I'm not the most attractive man in the world, and I don't think anybody looks great up close. You sort of look like a troll, like, give me your toll, you can cross. And I don't want to have that. I want to have it be a more enjoyable professional experience. So the next couple days, I'm going to have, today, I'll be releasing the Sadison's Lutheran Church and Cemetery video. I'm hoping on Wednesday I'll be doing the second Beenagle Lutheran Church video of the Upper Cemetery. Plus, I talk about a connection between the prominent family there, the Early family, and one of our presidents. Uh, so that was a really cool video. I was actually really happy with it. I wasn't sure what to expect with the upper cemetery because usually, if you have a cemetery sort of split into two, the one that's near the church is the older one, and that was like Revolutionary War era. The newer one, the stones looked a lot newer, but in fact, actually, it was because the stones are incredibly clean. So I think pretty much every single stone there you could actually read, and they were the original white marble, the vast majority of them. I don't know what the secret was, if somebody went and cleaned all the stones, or if it's just something about that specific area. Everything was clean. It was actually a really cool privilege and pleasure to go up there. So I spent a little bit more time there than I had originally intended, just because it was such a cool graveyard cemetery. Because you don't run across them except for like military, like Indiantown Gap National Cemetery, where they are really, really well maintained and the stones are kept very, very clean. These are stones that are 140, 150 years old and they look pristine, which is awesome. So that was a really cool experience. Thursday, I went to H.M. Levitt's Memorial Park, did some trail walking there, about 2 miles of trails, and went through the park, talked a little bit about the history. And that was a cool experience. I sort of ramble on a little bit while I'm walking. Um, so I think I really was an enjoyable experience. They had really made a lot of improvements to Levitt's Park, and really beautiful, beautiful walk, and I hope you enjoy that. Friday, I'm hoping that I'll be able to release the Joseph Johns video, which, like I said, I just completed the third part. And tomorrow, or today, I should say, the Wandering Woodsman and myself are going to go out and do sort of a co-op on the video of the Blue-Eyed Six. And then I'm also going to finish off those two sections for Joseph Johns at the memorial for Joseph Johns at Bayshore Scout Reservation and at Moonshine Cemetery where he's buried at his gravestone. Talk a little bit about the legends of Joseph Johns, how much is true, how much isn't. We really don't know, but we're going to talk about it. And I think that'll be also a very cool video. And we talk about the community of Africa as well in the third part that I just did. Uh, and then hopefully after that, I'll continue to be able to build up this backlog of videos. And I'm hoping to have every single day have a different video out. I'll probably have some filler videos in there. There's a lot of local churches that have a bit of history. They'll be a little bit shorter videos, and those will be filling in. And then I'm going to start hitting some of these historical marker videos and also the historical buildings, and then see if I can find some more really unique stories like the Blue-Eyed Six and continue to just sort of intersperse them in. Maybe start the Country Road series now that I'll have a new camera. And I'm also going to be buying the Animoca app, which is what Cliff uses to do the final edit for his videos. And that way I can do them just as well, add the intro, outro that I've been talking about. I'm hoping to be able to get that Instagram started here shortly so I can share my pictures on more than just a Facebook page. Maybe do some more of those short videos on Facebook, because I think it's cool to have different little things on the different social media pages. And then hopefully the P.O. box within the month, I'll have that started as well. So channel's growing, it's growing well, and that's really, at the end of the day, it's all thanks to you. You guys have been incredibly kind. One thing I do want to talk about, like Cliff had talked about, and I've watched through the 7 years I believe that he's been doing this, there is an ugly side, unfortunately, a darker side to it. And I've had, as you grow, you're going to get more and more. I always say is like 99.9% of this is awesome. People couldn't be any more kind. Even when you have critiques, vast majority of people are very kind. And every single time somebody puts a suggestion or a critique of something maybe I'm not doing as well as I need to, sometimes I have to explain with my walking. It's getting a lot better now, but earlier in videos I had a habit of letting the camera drop because I really have to watch where I walk, because I am partially handicapped with my left foot having a partial amputation. A lot of times that people make comments about that, they're not aware of that, which I understand, that's cool. But I also probably do talk about it quite a bit. I know the Union Canal locks video, I had trouble with that, and I sort of explained this is the reason I'm sort of doing that. I'm sorry about that because you're not always thinking about in the moment that my camera angles aren't the greatest. I'm sort of more concerned about I don't want to fall or slip. Maybe the soil isn't as, you know, hard as it should be and it's giving way and that type of stuff. So, and to this point, I've been doing everything with this phone, which is probably not the most ideal way to do these videos, but it's worked to this point for the most part. Sound quality isn't always the best. Even the video quality isn't always the best, but this new camera, this will hopefully get me through the next 5 to 6 months before I can have the money to be able to invest in what I really want to get, and then maybe go with like a GoPro or something that I can do my biking journeys on and do the ones that I do my car, so it's just safer, so I'm not holding a camera and whatnot. But I have had some comments that have been sort of nasty as of late, and I will say I won't tolerate that on the page. I won't tolerate people being nasty to one another. I haven't had that yet, but I had one comment yesterday that was pretty ignorant, and I have pretty thick skin when it comes to that kind of stuff. But if you're gonna make a critique, try to understand that I'm a human being and that I really do try at this. I'm learning. I'm only 2 months in, so with anything, it's an experience that you learn as you go through this. So you gotta say something. An old saying like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I don't like when people talk down to me, and that's what this was. And it was sort of personal and really ignorant, and it's like, well, you almost lost me as a viewer. Well, personally, if you're gonna be ignorant, I don't really need you as a viewer. Nobody does, because there's no reason to talk to people like that. Unfortunately, that's social media. If you do put yourself out like this, you're going to get that kind of stuff. So you understand that sort of comes with what you're doing. So it's better not to respond. I deleted it, but people that do that kind of stuff will be blocked. I'm not tolerating that, because there's a lot of work that goes into this, and as I've grown doing this, like the Blue Eyed Six video, I put a lot into hours and hours of research. I've invested in books and things like that, so I get my facts straight, and I can hopefully make it as interesting as possible. A lot of these videos now are going to be more scripted, where I know what I'm going to say. I have exactly where I'm visiting a lot of the places, like the Blue Eyed Six. There's a number of locations that we're going to go to, because we're going to visit grave sites, the location of the murder, the location of where the victim's buried, maybe even possibly where the Lebanon County Jail was at one point. It just depends if there's parking there or not for us to be able to go there. That takes a lot of time. It does take money to do that. So you're investing in something like right now, I don't get paid for this at all. I'm building towards being a YouTube partner, but there's a certain parameters that you have to reach. You have to have 1,000 subscribers. You have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. I've just hit 1,000 hours watch time, so we're a quarter of the way there, and I think we're closing in on 360 subscribers. I think it's 357 right now, so we're over a third of the way there. And this is something that, because of my disability and because as well I really really enjoy this, this is something I really would enjoy doing as at least a part-time income, as a job, because I really love this, and a lot of that is thanks to you guys. So I'm not sitting here complaining or feel sorry for me or anything of that nature, but try to be kind. It's I do have feelings. It's not that my feelings got hurt by this thing or anything of that nature, but it did sort of tick me off a little bit, because I just don't. You wouldn't talk to somebody like that in person. It was just sort of this person just said pro tip, and then went into this whole thing about like, you don't repeat yourself 3 times because you're going to make people mad basically, and they're going to turn you off. And if you don't, do such and such, you ramble on too much, people will turn you off and you almost lost a viewer. And it's like, honestly, you don't want to, nobody's forcing you to watch this, and you don't have to appreciate it. I'm not at the stage where I'm going to be like professional. I don't have a producer, I don't have a director, I don't have a writer. It's just me filming this the best I can, and it does a lot of work, goes in a lot of passion more than anything that goes into this. So somebody's putting their heart and soul in this. We're not perfect. We're not always going to be uber professional and look like a TV product, because that's just, we don't have that type of equipment. And over time people get better and better and better, but that does take time. I've only been doing this 2 months. I'm doing the best I can. The vast majority, 99.9%, get all that, and I've been very supportive in that regard. But I would just say, in general, try to be careful about that. If you are going to critique, I do take, even the ones that, there are several other ones that weren't very kind and were sort of ignorant. I do still take that under consideration, because that's how you grow as a person. That's how you get better at doing this craft that I'm attempting to do. So I want to thank you, vast majority, for everything you guys have done for me, the support that you've given me. It really means a lot. Channel's continuing to grow. It'll continue to grow. It'll continue to get better. We'll continue to get more professional. Hopefully, I want to make my videos entertaining, educational, and I'd like to make them that they're something that doesn't put you to sleep, that is somewhat exciting. So we're getting there, but it is a learning experience. Learning how to be comfortable with yourself on camera, learning how to really process this, research it to put together the best product you possibly can. And we're still getting there. I'm hoping, like the Blue Eyed Six, that video will be really, really good, and that's an example of what's to come. Because I have a lot of really cool and exciting things I've shared in previous vlogs, and here in the third vlog is just something that I wanted to share. A little longer than some of the other vlogs, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit. There's a few things there, maybe even quote unquote vent a little bit, but I really do appreciate you all and the support that you give me, and this channel is where it is now because of you all. And I really do appreciate you supporting me to allow me to be able to do this, because this really has been, for the vast majority, the most part, 99.9%, has been a pleasure and really has been a blast. And it's I'm able to put a bunch of the things I've learned in the past to use here. It's just a matter of getting better at it. Like with anything, it takes practice, and we're getting there. So once again, I want to say thank you, and we will see you on our next adventure, and we'll see you about town. Thanks, everybody.